Atari 50, the Anniversary Celebration. Available on all modern platforms. Retailing for $39.99. This is a collection of 115 games. However, 6 of them do need to be unlocked, and in the other 109, you get different versions of the same game. And what I mean by that is, you get the same game as it was made on different platforms. So you could play the arcade version of Millipede, but also play the versions of them that were made for Atari home consoles, such as the Atari 2600. And that is actually what makes this collection interesting and worthwhile, as this is not just an arcade collection, or a collection of 2600 games. It has games from most of Atari's hardware over the years. The arcade cabinets, the Atari 2600, 5200, and 7800, the Atari 8-bit line of home computers, and most interestingly in my opinion, the Atari Lynx and Atari Jaguar, as well as containing some brand new games which are based on classics but that have been reimagined, meaning that there is a great deal of variety on offer in this particular collection, showcasing how video games evolved from the 70s to the 80s and into the 90s. But it is not just games that are on offer in this collection. There is also a great deal of information on offer here about the history of Atari, including a timeline of events, various marketing materials from over the years, and a surprising amount of videos to watch, meaning that this truly is a celebration of Atari, and not just of the games they made over the years. The only thing I would criticize in this collection is that the only games on offer are games that were made for Atari hardware. And while yes, Atari did make many pieces of hardware, they also made games for hardware that Atari didn't produce. Machines like the Commodore 64, or the Nintendo Entertainment System, and many others are completely unrepresented in this collection, despite that Atari developed software for these and many other platforms. I did dig around a little to find out why this is the case, but I couldn't actually turn up anything that sounded definite. Still, it is nice to have a collection that contains more than just arcade and Atari 2600 games, as those platforms have many collections representing them, whereas the libraries of the 5200 and 7800 are far more scarce in collections. And the Atari 8-bit computers, Lynx and Jaguar, have gone almost completely unrepresented in any other collection. And while certainly these platforms could have had more titles in this collection, it's still nice to see any titles from these pieces of hardware represented. And hopefully we'll see other collections with even more of their software libraries represented. So is Atari 50, the Anniversary Celebration, worth your time and money? Well, let's see. We have 115 games for $40. That's just under 35 cents a game. So, from a games per dollar perspective, I'd say absolutely. And it is interesting to see the same game on different hardware in this collection. Seeing an arcade original and then seeing the 2600 version of it, and in some cases the 5200, 7800 version, and even Atari 8-bit computer version of a game, it shows how home ports changed over time, and how different hardware limitations affected how a port would be made. And with not just having games in this collection, but also a great deal of information about the history of Atari, makes for a great value for your dollar in this collection. And no, this collection doesn't contain every single game that Atari was ever involved in making, but it does contain a very interesting cross-section of games. So yes, I absolutely do recommend Atari 50, the Anniversary Celebration. Please do subscribe, comment, like, and tell your friends.